Dearly beloved, we have gathered here today to get through this thing called Mix CD. My name is Mike, part of the SPDM crew, and I love making Mix CDs. Each week, we give our guests a theme and an 80-minute time limit for which songs they're going to pick for their Mix CD. This week, we are talking about music video songs. And what we mean by that is songs where we like the music videos too, because do you remember back in the day when music videos were like the only thing that certain channels played, like CMT, or maybe it was called that CM Country Music Channel or whatever, or MTV? You know, believe it or not, once upon a time, MTV did play music videos, and now they're nowhere to be found. VH1 actually played a lot of music videos as well. Now you can only get them online, which makes me sad. But anyways, I am very happy to bring back on. It's been a while since we've recorded anything together for reasons I will not disclose. So I've got the co-host and creator of the Comics Corner podcast and longtime collaborator Brian Larsen. Brian, how's it going?
Doing good. Doing good. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good. It's good to see your face. It's been a while.
A little
So
bit.
let's start with this. What music videos? What was it about this topic that kind of spoke to you?
Well, I happen to be there's every so often I'll have a night where I'm at home by myself and randomly go to YouTube and just watch some music videos. And I ran across a few and I was like, we were trying to come up with a topic and I just threw out the idea. I was like, hey, how about music videos, songs from music videos? And, one of the ones I picked, I'll get to the story about it later, but it had a special meaning to me with that went along with a friend of ours, Aaron Lashbrook. And, it was like, hey, it'd be neat to tell some of those stories that go along with the video, some of them.
Absolutely. Plus, also, you and I are of the age where we would watch MTV and different channels for music videos. They would have a block in the morning, like all night. It was just all music videos. So this was something that you and I grew up on. Like I know for me personally, I can't speak for you, but I am the Total Request Live generation. I watch
I
TRL after school every day, hoping that maybe one day I'll get the guts to actually like call in and vote for something, even though I knew it would cost $1 million and my mother would kill me to do that. But TRL was a big part of my childhood and my growing up. And it's sad because they tried rebooting it and it didn't work because most people are like, why would I call in or why would I vote for music videos when I can watch them whenever I want?
right.
So, plus also, I feel like nowadays the music video it doesn't feel like a necessity anymore. Unlike back in the day when a music video just got more exposure for you, but also I just feel like they're lazier now.
Yeah, the effort isn't there anymore. Most of them you'll see just them at a concert, and then they put some background videos in it, of stuff behind the scenes. But there are still those that put out a good music video, but they're few and far between anymore.
Yeah. And that's sad because a lot of the videos I have here, or at least the songs, these are ones where you could tell where that the effort was there. So it's something that I greatly appreciated it. And then also there was all these shows about like, hey, do you want to watch the making of this? And granted, you can watch the making of for most of these music videos whenever you want because
Yeah.
now there's behind the scenes shit online all the time. So it just feels like there's just so much oversaturation now with like all like the behind the scenes. You could watch like you could watch the original music video, you could watch the live music video, you could watch, just watch like just a regular performance of it. And the music video used to feel like an event, and now it's just not there anymore. And that's fine.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was Michael Jackson's Black and White, where it got released on Channel 7. I mean, ABC Network
Mhm.
did like the making of, and then when the making of part documentary part was done, they played the video on national TV. And I mean, that was Michael Jackson too, but it was just they put the effort into the music videos then. And there was what other one did I see when I was looking for? Oh, the Smooth Criminal starts out where, I mean, I'm not 100% sure if I remember correctly, but I believe the beginning is actually the kids from the Pepsi commercial that he's in.
Yep.
Remember at the beginning of Smooth Criminal, and then all of a sudden he goes into a bar and it's, breaks into the Smooth Criminal video. But it was just like,
Well, because that's a good example because Michael Jackson for that one, because that and Thriller and a bunch of other ones, there was the just shorter, album version, and then there's the one that's like longer, that's kind of like a short film too.
yeah,
So those were always a lot of fun to watch, and thankfully you had the opportunity to possibly do to watch both at some point, but also you just had to wait. If you didn't like record it, kind of like if you're listening to the radio, if you didn't record it, you just got to wait and you just got to sit there until it just comes back on again, because most of the time it does come back on again. And that was the blessing and the curse of watching MTV back in the day, is that hey, if you really want to watch this music video, you're going to have to like record it somehow and go from there.
right. And then, like you said, TRL, those top 10 videos they played of the day and bringing the stars in. I mean, there's, boy bands wouldn't be where they were if it wasn't for TRL.
No, no, absolutely not. Actually, I look at a lot of these songs and a lot of them are from the TRL days. So here's a question for you. You mentioned before we started recording that you didn't really there's a lot that you potentially left on the table in terms of like those iconic music videos. So what were kind of your fast and hard rules to try to put your list together?
It was stuff that I liked. It was the videos that I went to my YouTube search and some of the videos, that I brought up were just the stuff that I liked watching. And,
Mhm.
and then there was the last four of them were kind of parody joke type songs and just, different artists that, need to be on a music video. Michael Jackson needs to be on a music video list.
Hmm.
Janet needs to be on the music video list. So it was just a bunch, some of that. Some of it was, made videos that had guest stars, different stars that you wouldn't see normally in a music video or think that would be in a music video.
Mhm.
So it was nothing was off the table, but I also didn't want to go with the, like the, was it the video killed the radio star? Is it the Boogles or Bungles? I didn't want to,
Yeah.
that some of it was too on the nose. So I didn't want to go with that. I wanted to come up with some different things, something that people would go, oh, I didn't even think of that video.
I feel like I've got a mix of both on my list. I've got some ones on here that's like, well, no shit that this is going to be on this list. And then there's
Mhm.
going to be some where you're just kind of scratching your head a little bit and you're like, why on earth did you pick this? So I look forward to addressing some of those things. But I know for me, I'm just looking. I kind of did something similar. I looked through my YouTube history, but I also looked through and I thought to myself, do I remember the first time I saw this music video? So that was a big part of it as well. Was this a music video that I would continually wait to watch? There's some on here because I used to work retail, and two of the retail places I worked had one of those like clip packages where they would just put a bunch of stuff together, like a preview of a movie, a bunch of music videos, different things like that. So some of those are like seared into my head. So two of those show up here, like almost begrudgingly on here. But some of these are pretty straightforward and basic, which I'm a little ashamed of. But like we talked about before, this just feels ripe for a volume two because I feel like once we open this can of worms, I feel like a bunch of people are going to be like, "What about this one?"
Yeah.
Or
I
even,
just did it in my own head. I
yeah,
thought I was like, oh, Jesus, I forgot about him,
yeah,
So,
yep. So I know because I know eventually this does warrant a volume two at some
yeah.
point. So I look forward to that. But how many songs do you have on your list?
I ended up and I reached out to you for ground rules on. We went with how long the song is. I went with Apple Music. So with the 80-minute time constraint for the list, I ended up with 19 songs that fit into the 80 minutes, but I'm sure their music videos are a little bit longer, but we didn't take that into consideration. So it was just for the playlist.
I know a couple of these, the music video is a little bit longer, so I thankful for that because I think if we picked music video proper, I think we'd have far less. So I ended up
Yeah.
with 21 on mine. Just fit the last one in just barely. And I'll go first. Like the first, because the last one I added is the first one on my list. And I picked OK Goes, Here It Goes Again. Because look, am I a big OK Go fan? No, I'm not. But does that change the fact that they're trying to do something different with these music videos? Yes, and that treadmill gag is just
Yeah.
fantastic. I can't imagine how many times it took them before they finally got it. Like it looks like it's one continuous shot, but I could be wrong. It could be really creative stitching and editing together, but that doesn't change the fact I applaud the effort. And also for like a group of white guys just being super agile like that on a treadmill, like good for you guys. Really appreciate that. So
Okay, Go was a hard cut for me.
yeah.
It did not.
So you mentioned it before. I did pick Aha's Take on Me. It feels very basic to do that, mainly because the 80s were a wild time, man. But one thing that I appreciate about this music video is just it is now cemented in pop culture lore. Now, Family Guy did a spoof of this. I'm pretty sure like South Park and The Simpsons have probably both done a spoof of this. But it's so cool just being kind of like ripped into a comic strip like that, or like just a drawing. Like
Definitely.
that was really cool. I've gotten a chance to listen to some other Aha music, and I don't really understand why they only got one hit, but them the bricks. But that music video was awesome as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And they had a second song that was,
Can
I
you
wouldn't
name
say they're
can
one
you
hit wonder.
can you name that second song? I'm putting you on the spot right now.
Well, I think the sun always shines
Name
on TV. The sun always shines on TV.
that
Is
sounds
the
that sounds fake. I'm
you can look it up. It's actually a pretty good song.
well, no shit, but I still all right, fine. I'll give you that one.
Now, besides that, it's yeah.
It's pretty low going, but I don't know. I remember the first time I saw this and I was blown away. I was like, this is the cutting edge of technology. And you know, it's still one of those great ones to this day. And
Definitely.
my last one, this is my Michael Jackson one. And my rule for most of these lists is that I usually only pick one artist per list. And I almost broke it for Michael Jackson because his music videos were awesome. And in subsequent volumes, I'm sure we will address the others. But the one that I picked Beat It. And it's the guitar riff at the beginning, it's the dancing, it's the fact that a Michael Jackson song made it on a fucking Guitar Hero game. Like
Hmm.
and the like lead singer of like the fake band that you were in was doing the Michael Jackson dances. Yeah, all of those reasons are why I ended up picking Beat It versus some of the other ones out there because obviously there's a lot of heavy hitters when it comes to Michael Jackson music videos and it broke my heart that I only picked one, but hey, that just means we're just gonna have to do a volume two at some point.
Definitely. I agree. I think did Eddie Van Halen do the
Yeah,
guitar?
yes, he did.
Okay.
Makes it even cooler, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So
I was gonna say Slash, but I think he did Dirty Diana.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And for everyone listening, I did not get Mike's list. I don't know what it's on his, and
I
so
did. I got your
I
list. I didn't look at it on
yeah,
purpose though,
yeah,
because I
definitely.
wasn't.
So
I didn't want your list to influence my list and vice versa.
yeah,
So all right, Brian, give me your first three.
my first three. So I wanted to come out strong. I went with Pink and Beautiful Trauma, which is Channing
Strong,
Tatum.
strong. Okay, all right. Let's do this.
It's just it's a good music video. You know, it's her and you sometimes forget how talented Channing Tatum is. You know, Step Up was pretty much his big come through movie with the dancing part to it. And it's just the two of them interacting was just very well done. So I thought
Well, because also Pink might be one of the most underrated artists out there because of her longevity, the
Mhm,
type, like different types of music that she plays. She's got that voice that is like it's recognizable, but it's constantly evolving as well.
definitely.
So I like that pick a lot. I don't think I've ever seen the music video for that.
Uh,
So Channing Tatum, you said, is in it.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah, yeah,
interesting.
that's it's basically them as a couple, and you see how the relationship can be toxic, you
Mhm.
know, and but they also appear to be on the outside happy. You know, starts with them looking like a Leave It to Beaver couple, and then by the end, there's BDSM outfits
Oh,
and
nice.
such. So yeah, don't watch it with your daughters.
Okay, I will. Message received. I will definitely not do that.
Then I go into another star joins this one. The Chicks, formerly known as I can't say their name, but Goodbye Earl.
I love that music video. It's so
So
good.
it's funny. It's empowering women. I mean, it's the subject matter obviously is a very serious subject matter that they do and turn it into just here's a strong way to represent women, and
Hmm.
I liked it. God, I can't. Franz. It's Andy Sipowicz to me. He's always Andy
Hmm.
Sipowicz, MIPD Blue. Dennis Franz.
Dennis Franz,
Just
yeah.
yeah, he's does a good job in it, and he again just a good guest starring role in a music video. And oh geez, he was the big star to me, but the two women who were the abused women and the girlfriend that kill him, those they
Hmm.
were big stars too, and I can't think of them right now off the top of my head.
Yeah,
But yeah, so had to go with Goodbye Earl.
good call on that one. And Goodbye Earl didn't really show. So Goodbye Earl doesn't really show up a lot on. It didn't show up a lot on MTV or anything
Mhm.
like that. So I had to catch this like a little bit later. But yeah, I love that song. Love the music video for that. That's a great pick.
And that album, I believe it was Fly,
Yep.
that got the Chicks out there. They're,
Yes, it did
they
very much.
that was they had a lot of good songs on that album.
Hmm.
And country music was getting bigger at the time. And they, the Garth Brookses were coming along and the Dixie Chicks or Chicks and you know so it was and it did cross over a little on MTV but not much.
Yeah,
Like you said, it wasn't on TRL but it got played on MTV some.
and that matters for something. So
Yeah.
we'll give it that.
I stayed in the country realm for my third one, and this is the story. I got to tell this one. And so, one night back in college, Aaron Lashbrook and I, we were roommates, and we were watching country music television when they were playing videos, and this Travis Tritt song comes on, Alone, and it's the first of three, and we didn't know, and they play all three songs in a row that are in this. And the video that I picked was "Tell Me I Was Dreaming," which is the second one.
Okay.
But the first one, he's a war veteran who comes home and is dealing with the PTSD, and he was paralyzed, and his wife Annie is there for him. And the ending of the first one alone, he comes out of the hospital with Annie. They
Okay.
start the second one. Annie's pregnant, and he's working fixing boats, and they're on the water, and Annie slips, hits her head on a boat, eyes.
What the fuck?
I know.
Like,
So Aaron and I, and we might have been drinking that night, are both watching this and like crying in the living room watching this video on country music television.
wow.
So, and then
Okay.
the third video of it is him raising his daughter with his buddy who was in the hospital with him when he got back from the war. So and you can't find on YouTube the videos, you can't watch them anymore. And I've noticed this with some songs. You can't find the videos on YouTube, but they'll play the song with lyrics in just like a background. So
Interesting.
because I wanted to find those three videos and I was unable to. But yeah, Tell Me I Was Dreaming by Travis Tritt.
Wow. Wow. God. they don't make music videos like that anymore. But also, Travis Tritt kind of gives me the vibe that he's like, I don't want my stuff on YouTube either. So
I could see that.
yeah, boy, that's dark, but I I like it. It's good. Well, as I pivot to my non-dark stuff, I'm gonna go with Outkast's Hey Ya, mainly because it was it was such a cool music video. You know, all of them are playing like a Ed Sullivan style show. Andre 3000 just playing all the parts for this. He's kicking ass and taking names. Hey Ya felt like Outkast's crossover into like more mainstream pop because a lot of their stuff was more rap. And
Hmm.
granted, you know, Outkast is still forever will be known as a rap group, but this one felt like this is the one that kind of propelled them a little bit more into the mainstream, which I think is a little bit of a blessing and a curse. And this is one of those songs where there's a lot of acoustic versions of this, you know, like Brian Aaron and I have been, you know, we've talked about the first two seasons of Scrubs. And there's a version in Scrubs, you know, that Ted does just on a ukulele. Lots of people have done like slow acoustic versions of this, and you realize well, the lyrics to this are actually like really good, with the
Yeah.
exception of the Polaroid picture thing, which you don't shake a Polaroid picture, people, you don't, but it is now just cemented into people's heads that like you shake a Polaroid picture. It's like, no, you don't at all. So Brian also just shook a Polaroid picture. So I'm really bummed that I can't get that. But you know, hey, it is what it is. So
Yeah.
my next one, kind of similar to Michael Jackson, another person that's pretty high up there in terms of iconic music videos is Britney Spears. And I tried thinking really hard as like, what music video out there for her is the most iconic? Because there's ones that is the most scandalous, there's the ones that were, you know, the most popular. But at the end of the day, none of those hold a candle to her first. So I picked Baby One More Time mainly because it's her first music video. You know, she just comes onto the scene post Mickey Mouse Club or like modern Mickey Mouse Club, along
Okay.
with a couple other people on my list. And this was a TRL darling of a show, but also it's interesting because you watch this music video and you watch some of the other music videos that Britney Spears does. It's like, yeah, this is your first because you're like way overdoing it in terms of like the way that you're enunciating the singing. It's like, look, we get it. You're not singing during the actual filming of this. Like we get it. You're lip syncing, but it's pretty obvious that you're trying really hard. So, you know, just I will give it credit for this because, you know, also as a young dude watching this was a good one. I'm not gonna lie. So I had to pick a Britney Spears one. And then my final one of this group, I've got Foo Fighters. And Foo Fighters, they're another group that makes pretty awesome music videos, but I picked Everlong. And that's one where I saw the music video and was like, "Oh, this is really cool. It feels a little bit more like a story as opposed to, you know, people just playing a song." And that's something that I really resonated with. I love the song Everlong. It's just one of those great songs that I love, and thanks to MTV, I just like it a lot more.
Yeah. Good band too. I mean,
Mhm. Been
the
around forever, and just everybody's just kicking ass and taking names, and they're doing great stuff.
yeah, definitely. My next one, I went with Dreams by Van Halen.
Mhm.
The music video is the Blue Angels, a lot of the stuff with the Blue Angels. And I started in Detroit and then moved to Dearborn, Michigan. And we had the Blue Angels used to actually fly over Memorial Day. And the rumor I had heard was that one of the Blue Angels who had passed away grew up close to our area. So every Memorial Day we would, have them fly over. It was very loud. I
I
mean,
can
I
imagine.
I don't know, if you've ever been to air shows and everything, but you get one of those
It's
F-18s
ex
flying over your house.
it's exceedingly loud.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
definitely. I think Daughtry is a very good artist. I like his voice and Waiting for Superman. I'm a comic book guy.
That's a good
So,
one.
but Waiting for Superman, it had a younger guest star in it. He ended up being, I think he was John Connor in the Terminator TV show that they did with Lena
Oh.
Headley and Summer Glau. And, but just, it's one of those good story in the video of a guy who's going around and he's homeless, who's helping people out. And people think he's the bad guy, but he's really helping people. So it was a good uplifting video. And then from there, you got to go to Matchbox 20. She's so mean. This is just a video of, you don't know who the girl's friend is, but it's the girlfriend of somebody in the band who comes in and just starts messing with everybody as they're playing the music.
Mhm.
She unplugs the guitar from the lead guitarist. She's throwing albums at people and they're ducking so they don't get hit with albums flying. It's just the things we let hot girls do.
I had a couple Matchbox 20 songs on here, particularly from their earlier albums, that it was hard to cut some of them
Yeah.
because I love Matchbox 20. Like Rob Thomas, kind of similar to Daughtry. I think they're both kind of underrated now, which sucks. And Daughtry, so fun story about Daughtry. So I used to work at a IT reseller, and we had during COVID, we normally have like a partner summit conference that we do, but because of COVID, everything was shut down, so they didn't send a whole lot of people there, particularly for us who we live in the Midwest. And this was like an East Coast based company. So they weren't going to send any of us there. But one thing that they did was they commissioned Daughtry to play like a private show for us. And it was Daughtry like all by themselves in a studio, just all of us watching. And I felt so bad because it was like, this would have been awesome if we would have gotten to see this live for a concert. But no, it's just poor Chris Daughtry by himself with like two other people just playing music in a studio for nobody except people watching online. I felt so bad for him because it was great. And I really wish more people would have gotten to see it live because it would have been awesome. Because I
Yeah.
realized also, it's like, I like a lot more of Daughtry's songs than I give him credit for. This poor bastard was playing in a room for a reseller. Oh, I don't
That's
know why
funny.
I'm laughing so damn hard
That's
because of that, because it makes no sense. But yeah, it was really cool just to get to experience that, and also good for Daughtry for doing something like that for a company, knowing full well that like he wasn't going to get to play live because it was I think it was 2021, so it was like the height of COVID during that time. So it sucked, but hey, like it was also something really nice that the company did for its employees. So I'll give them credit for that.
yeah.
So, all right, my next three. So, this next song is I'm a little ashamed that this made my list, but it's also my go-to karaoke song. So, whatever, it's my list. I picked Backstreet Boys' "I Want It That Way," and they have a lot of iconic music videos themselves, and they also. Kind of what you said before is that boy bands would not be where they are today without TRL. And this is absolutely true for them because I remember seeing the music video for this for the first time, and I was like, this is dumb. This is pretty basic. They're just singing at an airport. And this is also the music video that I realized these guys can't dance like at all. So maybe they should stop. And eventually they did stop dancing. But if you also listen to the lyrics, like, you are my fire, the one desire, it's like, this is the peak of lazy fucking writing as well. But that doesn't change the fact I love this song. I love it so much. It's such a stupid song, but it's just iconic for me. And the music video also is iconic as well because for one of my artists, they did a parody of like a bunch of these like teen and pop music videos for one of their music videos. And that was a hard cut for me because I thought that that was for sure going to make my list, and I ended up going in another direction for time. But I want it that way. My next one, I love the song Gangsta's Paradise. I do. I love it
Hmm.
so much. And the music video of it was awesome as well. So the music video, because it's this is one of like a couple that I have from like, no, I think this might be the only one because I think I cut a lot of the other ones because the movie soundtrack
Right.
tie-in for a music video was like a big thing, and like particularly in the 90s. And for a movie like Dangerous Minds, which you look back at Dangerous Minds, it's not a very good movie. Like I thought it was a good movie when I first watched it, but you watch it again and it's like, oh, this reeks of white savior. And also, yeah, like a lot of these kids don't really have a compelling story. But this music video was awesome because it shows Michelle Pfeiffer just in a room and Coolio is just rapping at her. And the guy that's singing singing the Gangster's Paradise, the theme song or the chorus of it as well. I heard it described once. I can't remember by who, but it's just like this guy looks like he is the wind and he's just a cloud and he's like, and that's always stuck with me and I really like that. So Gangster's Paradise, I love that song. And this is the first my next song is the first of two songs I have on here from my days at working at Sears. I have Forever by Chris Brown. Now, I want to preface this by saying we're separating artist from man because Chris Brown's a piece of shit. Like, you don't beat women. I don't think I'm saying something groundbreaking or
Right.
anything like that. But Chris Brown is kind of a piece of shit individual. With that being said, unfortunately, I've wrestled with this one a lot because I don't I don't want to support someone who does something like that, but I this music video just is a big part of my life and also this song as well because it was on an episode of The Office. It ended up as a viral sensation with people walking down wedding aisles with this. Also, what other song out there has a double your pleasure, double your fun drop as well for anybody out there who, had double mint gum and like back in the day when this was their tagline. It's like, yeah, you're going to remember that.
Right.
This music video was one of the music videos that played at Sears on loop. So I would watch this at least once every 30 minutes. I thought I was hot shit thinking that I could figure out how to do like the dance that they do in the course. I later figured out that I can't dance that well. So actually, I didn't figure that out. I knew, but I thought that I could do it. But this song, yeah, it's a fun song, unfortunately by crap individual, but can't deny the fact that I like this song a lot. So yeah. All right.
Yeah. And I'm with you. There's allegations about a lot of people and such. And I mean, look at the guy we got in prison right now who likes
Mhm.
baby oil.
Yeah,
So
a
I'll say
little
about
bit,
it. But
little bit. Yep.
so was that your,
That was my
okay.
yep.
Next one I went with. So there's been music videos that a lot of you'll see where the artist is just, it's a close up of their face and they're singing. I think D'Angelo did it where he was,
He was
shirtless
he was
and it was like
I'm pretty sure
bastard.
I'm pretty sure he was completely naked.
Yeah, probably.
Hmm.
But Britney Spears, she did Every Time, I think. That was her one where it was face, and Steven Dorff actually guest starred in it. But
Hmm.
I went with James Blunt's You're Beautiful. Just that guy's voice is something
Yeah.
special. And just that video, he's sitting there and you don't know what's going on. He's kind of getting under, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'm going to jump off this oil rig. So, but
Mhm.
I just always like the song, like the video. Now we get to my Michael Jackson video is I went with Remember the Time. Has Eddie Murphy and I think it was Amon was
I
the
believe so. Yeah.
queen that he was, talking to on the side. Magic Johnson was in the video
Sure was. It
for
was
some reason.
so goddamn weird. What is Magic Johnson doing in this fucking music
Yeah.
video? But that's that music video
But
is
it
great.
was one of those, there's the short version and then there was the video that it was 15 minutes or something. I mean, they did a whole storyline with it, but just a good one. And going with his sister, Janet, and her Rhythm Nation from the Rhythm Nation. That was another one that was, I think, even MTV did a making of Rhythm
Hmm.
Nation special. And just that was her, I think it was her third album. Control was her first one, first big hits. And then
Hmm.
Rhythm Nation came out and then she just blew up from there.
Yeah.
And that was a social commentary type video and just really well done. Good choreography in the video, and really liked it.
I had three Janet Jackson songs on my original list, and then I ended up having like cut them and like I think one in particular. So I had Escapade, pretty high
Yep.
up there, and then I ended up cutting it for Time, which it broke my heart because I love the song Escapade. And Janet
Mhm.
Jackson, look, she never got to the same heights as Michael Jackson when it came to music videos, but that doesn't change the fact that Janet Jackson's music videos were still pretty high up there
Yeah,
too.
I
So,
agree. There was again was one of mine that I
mhm,
had to cut, and it's a funny story about the song again. So she was in Poetic Justice
mhm.
with Tupac Shakur, and when that movie came out, they did a preview, and the song again is used in a preview for it. So I was like, "Oh, I'm getting the soundtrack because that song is just amazing," and it's just a short part of her, hitting a high note, and it's beautiful. And they didn't put the song on the soundtrack.
Why not? Why
they
not?
they use it in the preview and they'll put the song on the sound. So I had Poetic Justice with a lot of rap songs on it,
Mm-mm.
which I don't mind. I like rap. It was just funny. So yeah. So that's my latest batch.
All right. This starts my long, not long, like because a pretty good amount of these are R&B songs. I realize that I'm a big R&B fan. So this first song, Brian, I love Boys to Men. I really do. And look, Boys to Men doesn't really have like a lot of like really great music videos. They're fine for the most part, but their music speaks for themselves. But that doesn't change the fact I'll Make Love to You by Boys to Men. That is a sexy music video.
Yeah.
It's those guys just they just harmonize so damn well,
Mhm.
and it's just love that song. It's so good. My next one, kind of in the same vein as Boys to Men, I love Usher. I do. Back when Usher first started performing in the 90s, I really had a hard time trying to figure out which Usher song I would pick for this list. And I look back at some of the music videos, and there's one music video where he kind of looks like one of the guys from A Clockwork Orange, and he's leading a gang in a dance off, and it's hilarious because Usher knows how to dance, and that's
Oh
one
yeah.
thing that he really did well. I'm a huge fan of the song Nice and Slow because it's him in front of the Eiffel Tower, which is so weird, but I ended up settling on Yeah by with Lil Jon and Ludacris
Mhm.
because I think that was the song that just it blew up for him, which is great, but the music video of it is awesome as well because the dancing, just Ludacris and Lil Jon's inclusion in it is really cool too. And my last one, this is the one that I'm the most embarrassed about because I really have this on here for one reason and one reason alone. And it is a line from the course because I think this single-handedly might be the greatest line from a song ever, like in the history of everything.
Wow.
It's poetry. Like, so the lyric is call me Mr. Flintstone because I can make your bed rock. That's
I-
just whoever thought of that, it's just millions of dollars your
It's
way.
so genius.
It's it's
That's it's
it's
yeah,
it's
yeah,
so fucking stupid, but it doesn't change the fact that I love it. And so that is one that I would not have heard that song if it wasn't for MTV because I had a car that like didn't really get a lot of like good reception with the radio because that was back in the day when, you know, you needed like a legit antenna for your car
yeah.
versus
Mhm.
like the little stub that pretty much is on like everybody's car now, or most people have, XM radio now, or they just listen
Right.
to Spotify. But this is one that when it came out on MTV one day, and I was like, oh, this is interesting because it's it's Young Money is the
Young Money.
group,
Okay.
but Young Money is it's pretty much Lil Wayne's
Right.
out like record label where on it he had so Lil Wayne's in it, Drake is in it, Drake RIP because this year, just has not been very friendly to Drake. Kendrick Lamar in particular just destroyed him at the Super Bowl halftime show. Nicki Minaj is in it. Tyga is in it as well. So just a lot of great talent in there. It's my first time being exposed to a lot of those individuals. So I got to give Lil Wayne credit for that because without that, I don't think I would have known who Nicki Minaj was or Drake. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that was the Young Money group. No idea who they were. I knew who
Mm,
Lil Wayne was,
yeah.
but yeah, just the thoughtfulness of that line. Call me Mr. Flintstone because I can make your bed rock.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. Beautiful. All right. Your next three.
My next three, I've got Taylor Swift, Bad Blood.
Mm,
Talk about guest stars in a music video.
mm,
She's got every female imaginable in it, from
mm.
Cindy Crawford to Ellen Pompey, Mariska Hargitay to Selena Gomez. And it's just, and Kendrick Lamar, I think, is actually the rapper in it. So it was just, you could tell some of the times Taylor put together good videos.
Yep.
And this was one where she put some money behind it and put together a really good music video.
I had a couple Taylor Swift ones on my list, and they all ended up getting cut. But
Yeah.
I know my daughter or Gwen would be super pissed about that. But it is what it is.
One of my earlier videos is probably maybe the oldest video on here. And it was one of my first exposures to rap music because it featured Aerosmith also, was Run DMC Walk This Way.
Mm.
And it was that was a huge one on MTV where it was, I'm going to watch another hour because I'm sure this video is going to come on again. But that was just really well done. And, when I was younger, listened to more rock music, and that started getting me into some rap music. Third one on this one is, and this actually proud of myself, I can actually do this karaoke, and it is a tough song to do. We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel.
Very nice. Good call with that one.
But that one's just a great music video. The life, he explains basically his, the whole song throughout the music video. Just did a nice job.
I think VH1 pointed this out when I think they were doing, they were analyzing it. It was like, there's so many things in We Didn't Start the Fire that were like, huh, these are all like really bad things. JFK blown away. What else do I have to say? But the rock and roller cola or rock and roller
Cola Wars.
wars are the things that causes him to flip the table over in the music video. It's like, of all the things, okay, good for you. Brian, what are your thoughts on the second version of We Didn't Start the Fire by Fall Out Boy?
I like it. It's done, it's good, but it's also not, I actually never saw a music video for it. Don't know if there is one, but they took the same concept, and I don't think they do chronological order, because that's one thing We Didn't Start the Fire does, is the Billy Joel version, it is chronological. And I don't think they do theirs in chronological.
It's definitely not, and that pisses a lot of people off, but yeah. All right, my next group, kind of in the same vein as Boyz II Men and Usher. Bruno Mars definitely has a lot of great music videos, and I picked one. It's Versace on the Floor, and I picked it because Zendaya is in it. And first of all, it's hilarious because Zendaya is grossly taller than Bruno Mars, so I think that's objectively hilarious. But also, it's Zendaya is beautiful in it. She's just beautiful. She's beautiful in everything, but she's beautiful in particular in this. So I love Versace on the Floor because it's a throwback to a lot of the Boyz II Men songs and different things like that. Mariah Carey is another person. So I grew up on Mariah Carey because it was just my mom and my sister. So I didn't get a whole lot of say as to what song gets played on the radio or what song gets played in the CD player. And Mariah Carey is somebody that I have a deep affinity for because she's got some pipes on her because she can sing. And her not like late 90s, early 2000s, I really wasn't liking a lot of those things. But in 2005, she put out We Belong Together, which is a throwback to old school Mariah Carey. And it's hilarious because she is marrying Eric somebody he was in he I can't like he was a guy in like The Dark Knight, and it's hilarious that he's marrying him, but then she's looking back at like one of the guys from Prison Break who oh, I could have married you instead. But that's just, it's a great song, just a return to form for Mariah Carey after just experimenting a little bit and just trying out new things. And my last song, kind of in the similar vein as Forever, not because the artist is, kind of a questionable individual, but this is another one that Sears played on repeat in the same video package, and it's In Love with the Girl by Gavin DeGraw. And the reason why it was on that package is because they filmed it in a fucking Sears. So they like that doesn't change the fact that it's a great song. I love that song, but it is Gavin DeGraw is trapped in a Sears and with a girl, and he's falling in love with her. I didn't realize until some years later that that girl was Christy Cavallari. Like, like good for you, Gavin.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one that I like this song more than most, and I can thank my time working at Sears in college for that one. A little embarrassed about that one, but hey, it is what
He's
it is.
got he's got another one, Not Over You, with another exotic looking hot female. So
Mm,
I, he's kind of pigeonholed himself into something right there.
a little bit, a little bit. It probably also helped him a great deal that his song also was the theme song of One Tree
One
Hill
Tree Hill,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So, all right, Brian, what's your next
Uh,
three?
Go back to Usher for a second. I actually saw him. He opened up for Janet Jackson, and I went and saw Usher and Janet Jackson at a show, and he was phenomenal,
Mm,
just great. And Confessions is actually a really good music video of his too.
yes, it is.
And
That
uh,
whole album is really
yeah,
great. Yeah.
yeah. So I got a funny story about this video. So it's "Love Myself" by Haley Steinfeld. And the reason being, this is okay. Give me a little leeway here.
Okay,
So there was
first of all, let me preface this by saying this is a great song. I love this song. I've never seen the music video for it, but anyways, I will put myself on mute. I will let.
So there was a TV show called Stargirl that was on the WB, and comic book influenced superhero TV show. And one of the girls gets convinced to send pictures of herself to somebody. And those pictures go throughout the high school. And as they're explaining the story about this character, they're playing this Love Myself song during it. And when I'm listening to it, I'm thinking like this song is all about personal growth and loving yourself and not caring what anybody thinks about you. Then I see the music video, and she's wearing a onesie outfit, Haley Steinfeld is, that says self serve.
Oh yeah, this song is
I'm
straight
like,
up about masturbation.
this
Yep,
is,
yep. This is definitely one where it's like, boy, we missed the mark on the messaging with this one.
like,
Or counterpoint, maybe this is exactly what's needed from a messaging standpoint.
yeah. So when I first, like I said, when I first got to saw I'm like, oh, this is women empowerment and love yourself, and you don't
Mhm.
need anybody else, and you don't need. And then I watch this video, and I'm like, wow, I might touch myself right
Well,
now.
so there one song that was on my original cut that I ended up, original like leaving off for time. We all have those songs where, you're singing along as a kid and then you wise up a little bit and you're like, "Oh, this is a song that I should not have been singing as a kid." And that was Next Too Close because it is literally the song is literally about getting too close to a girl when you're dancing because you got a boner. Like, dude, like guys, like honestly, like who thought that that was like a pop hit in Waiting? And it turns out that like it did very well. So good for them. But
Yeah. My next one, actually, and the last time we did this, I don't believe we had any, or we might have had a couple crossovers, but I Want It That Way by Backstreet Boys was my next one.
I'm
I
not gonna
was
lie, this is not the one that I thought was gonna cross over, but
I am also a big boy band, big fan of them, and I was either going to go with them or Bye 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 in Sync. That was a huge music video. And I went with I Want It That Way because I've never tried it karaoke. When they do that, I just want to hear you say part. I've made kind of a joke of it, and with Aaron and Christy. So like there'll be times I'll get snaps from Christy if that song's on the radio where he's like just remembers. So yeah. And then my next one is California Love by Tupac and Dr. Dre. And that's, I purposely left movie songs off of it. Like you used Gangster Paradise. And that had some scenes from the movie, but it also utilized, like you said, Michelle Pfeiffer sitting down, trying to look all hard at Coolio.
Yeah.
But California Love, it's Mad Max. They recreate Mad Max, and I just thought they did a great job with it, and just such a good song. And so, yep,
I think
that's
this
my next batch.
I think the story behind that also is fascinating because that was a rare moment where East versus West rap actually was put on a little bit on hold to, film this music video. And I believe it was either Tupac or Dr. Dre. I think I read somewhere that Dr. Dre was in jail during this and they released him specifically for this. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, I
That
love
actually sounds right.
I do love this music video and this
Yep.
song as well. It's a good song. I like it a lot.
Yep.
Well, we're unfortunately going to be pivoting to another song that is just pure poetry, and that's the Thong Song by Cisco. And mainly because, so a couple things with this. One, say something about spring break without saying the word spring break. It's the Thong Song because this song was like the song for spring break when it came out. It's also one of the laziest songs on the face of the planet because if you listen to it, and I've listened to this a number of times, mainly because also I know all the lyrics to this, it is the verse, the pre-chorus, and the chorus, and then they just repeat it again. I'm not gonna lie, this is a song that I have sung to my now wife, and she jokingly sometimes says like this is our song, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. But also the music video for this is ridiculous because like who on earth greenlit this and think, yeah, let's have a movie, all right, well, let's have a music video about thongs out there. So I have to give it a little bit of credit for that, even though it's such a stupid song, but also, just educational for someone like me. It was like, oh, dump truck. Okay, she's got dumps like a truck, truck, truck.
Truck,
I'm like,
truck.
cool. All right, now I know. So TLC is another group that, made waves on MTV for some of their music videos. And if it wasn't for the fact that it wouldn't have fit in for time because my list is exactly an hour and 20 minutes, I would have picked Waterfalls because Waterfalls, like, I think in addition to kind of being a visionary music video, also it scared the shit out of me as a kid for some strange reason because it's like three letters. It's like, oh, this is clearly talking about HIV. And that scared the shit out of me, even though I was
Hmm.
like, oh, no, like you can't get HIV just by like breathing it in. Like this was also one where I got the CD single for it. But for time purposes, I pivoted in another direction and I picked No Scrubs instead because I love that song and the music video is just as good. Messaging of the song isn't as powerful as Waterfalls, but also the lyrics for No Scrubs make sense versus Waterfalls. Like, don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. What does that even mean? I, I don't know. But, and then my final one. Look, if I had to pick a Britney Spears one and the Backstreet Boys one, I had to pick both Christina Aguilera and NSYNC. And for the Christina Aguilera one, I ended up picking Genie in a Bottle. And again, it's her first one, not her best music video, because also they figured out pretty quick Christina Aguilera cannot dance. She can sing, she really can sing. And if I were to pick a different music video, maybe for time purposes, I probably pick Dirty instead
Yeah.
because that music video is iconic now. Plus, also, yeah, I think yeah, you get it,
Love
but
myself. We're gonna.
exactly. So, but Genie in a Bottle, I to this day still love this song, even though this is another song that's like we should not have been singing this as kids. Like, I'm a genie in a bottle, you got to rub me the right way. It's like, what does
Yeah.
that mean? It's like, yeah, we all know what that means. It's
That's
love yourself in a way.
yeah. Well, you got to rub the lamp. Got to
Exactly,
rub the
exactly.
lamp.
So yeah, genie in a bottle. That's my next one. I think you're down to your last two, right? Or
I've
last
got
couple.
four,
Okay.
and I'd like to do them all because it's kind of a theme
Okay.
for these videos. First one is Lil Dicky, Freaky Friday.
I love Little Dicky. It's such a
I
good
do
pick.
too. His videos are good. There were two of them I was in between, but Freaky Friday was one, and I worked in a bar at times. I did some bouncing, and We had a DJ who used to, some of his songs he would play, he would plug it in the TV and actually play the videos.
Mhm.
And that's one of the first times I saw the video for this one. And it's hilarious. I mean, again, Chris Brown, not the best, but it's just a really good video
Mhm.
of switching the idea of, being happy with yourself. And once you realize that, they switch back. And watching Lil Dicky try and dance with Chris Brown is some funny shit.
Oh man. Have have you seen the show Dave?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Great. I
Great.
saw, I think there were 3 seasons. I'm a season behind. I saw the first 2. So
The second season definitely ups the ante when it comes to guest stars. So definitely check that one out because that one's a lot of fun.
my next one is Lonely Island, Jack Sparrow featuring Michael Bolton. Just, I mean, come on. The song itself, if you listen to it, but the video going with it, Michael Bolton just watches Pirates of the Caribbean and writes a hook for a song, and they're just talking about being in a club and this and that. And the next thing you know, it's Michael Bolton singing "This Is the Tale of Captain Jack Sparrow." Then, when to wrap it up, they're like, "Hey, this doesn't go along with the song," so he tries to put Aaron Brockovich into it, then Forrest Gump, and then finishes off with Scarface and Tony Montana. So just fun, good video all along. Next one. And I think it's hilarious that you put Gangster's Paradise on here because I put Weird Al Yankovic's Amish Paradise on mine.
Oh, this
I mean,
Paradise is great. I
it
love that
is.
song. So
It's
good.
one, not only I like Weird Al Yankovic, I like his, when you were saying waterfalls, all I went to is Don't Go Making Phony Calls was his parody of it. He brings in Florence Henderson to be the badass staring him down in an Amish uniform, whatever. But
Mhm.
just, and the fact that Coolio still wants to kick his ass for making the song.
Yep.
So that's, and my last one, by far, to me, one of the funniest groups out there. And this song, saw the video one morning before going to work, Tribute by Tenacious D, a song that ends up having David Grohl in it from the Foo Fighters, guest starring. But the best part about the whole thing is when they get done, they're like, yeah, we don't even remember what song we played. This is just a tribute to what we did. So, but Jack Black and Kevin Glass, just
Mhm.
Tenacious D, I think it's hilarious. The whole album up to down. And I mean, Jack Black can fucking sing.
He's so I recorded a funny songs list with my friend Patrice, and I put tribute on there for that exact reason. It's like, when you do a tribute to a song, that it doesn't necessarily mean that the song is going to sound like you assume that it's going to sound exactly like what they're singing about, but no, not this one. And also, they put on a hell of a live show. Like,
Do they?
I haven't been to very many concerts over the last like 5, 6 years, but I went to the Tenacious D concert at the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, and there was an inflatable dragon behind them the whole time, and you're like, what's this dragon gonna do? And then you realize, oh, it's in the shape of a dick, so something's gonna come out of it at some point. And sure enough, bunch of glitter, and I think it was during this song. So yeah, Tenacious D puts on a hell of a show. I love that pick. It's great. All right, I guess that's my final three. So again, if I picked "I Want It That Way" by the Backstreet Boys, I got to throw an NSYNC song in there. And I thought really hard, and I'm like, do I really want to pick "Bye Bye Bye" for this? And the answer was no because of time. So I ended up picking "Tearing Up My Heart" instead because that was the first music video of theirs
Right.
that I really liked. I do know all the dance moves as well. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm a just NSYNC fan through and through. My next one. So Will Smith is another one that's like his music videos were appointment viewing in the 90s. No, you shouldn't slap someone in the middle of the Oscars. But this song slaps, and I can't help it. I could have picked a bunch of different songs here. I could have picked Getting Jiggy with It. I could have picked Just the Two of Us. I could have picked Miami, which who the hell writes a tribute song to Miami of all places? But I picked Men in Black, and it was between Men in Black and Wild Wild
Well,
West. But Men in Black. I will give Men in Black credit because it came first, and the
mhm.
music video for it is great with just all the people dressed in like the Men in Black suit, and the one alien that's dancing with them. And Wild Wild West just rips it off because they just have everyone dancing in, just cowboy costumes. So
Cowboy, yeah,
yeah, Men in Black, that's a great one. And just again,
definitely.
a relic of its time because the music video for a movie is just not a thing anymore, and it's just sad. And then my final song is What's My Age Again by Blink 182. You know, you get a bunch of guys shrieking in the middle of,
Mhm.
the middle of the street, and it's hilarious because I really wanted to find a way to incorporate all the small things, but if I have all these other ones in there, it's kind of representative of just all of those different genres of music videos. So I couldn't pick all the small things. So I picked What's My Age Again, or What's My Age Again, to supplement that, even though I do like all the small things music video a little bit better. I like What's My Age Again better as a song, but the music video for all the small things is fantastic.
Yeah, Blink 182 is a good band. I'm glad they got back together.
The
Um,
like the full band. Like, no offense to the guy. Well, no, Tom DeLonge, I don't know. Yeah, but they're touring now because I think there was a time where they were touring with one of the guys from Alkaline Trio when Tom DeLonge was not really thrilled with the idea
right.
of getting back together, but yeah.
Yeah, he went and did Angels and Airwaves
Hmm.
was his band, and then Some 44 or something like that
Hmm.
was the other
Interesting.
two, Travis Barker or is it Barker Baker?
Travis Barker.
Yeah, they had their own band, but then yeah, no, they got back together, and they actually have a really good music video out for their latest song that's talking about, one of the lines is there, it's a shame that a sickness had to get us back together, kind of
Mm,
thing.
yeah.
But yeah, I really, really like Blink 182.
Yeah.
I think these are some fantastic lists, Mike.
This
And
is a great list. I would definitely have to agree. And also we definitely do have to do a volume
volume
two.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is definitely going to be a volume two one. Last question I have for you, Brian. If this album was an actual music video, what would you pick for the album cover?
See, that's a tough one because I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that because I'd want to do something that incorporated basically some of everyone that's in these music videos somehow into one collage of a picture. I
Good
think that would
call.
be the way to go.
Good call with that. I've got Fred Flintstone on mine. That's it. Just Fred Flintstone, because again, that's poetry right
It
there.
is.
So yeah, that's what I'm picking. It's basic, it's stupid, but it's my album, so I'm just going with that. So, Brian, always great to see you. Thanks for coming on. Looking forward to the volume two of this. Do you have anything you want to plug, and where can the people find you if they want to continue the conversation?
I definitely want to plug the Comics Corner podcast with Beelar and Danny P. It is a comic book podcast talking about new issues that come out and what Danny P and I have been reading. It is comes out every Wednesday, new comic book day, greatest day of the week. And you can check us out on Comics Corner Pod on Instagram or Facebook, Comics Corner Podcast. And I am also on Instagram myself as at Belar1313.
Cool. So, Brian, always great to talk to you. Looking forward to talking with you more soon.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, my friends, the time has come to end this episode of Mix CD. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, and Blue Sky at SPDM Crew. Check out our website soon to be out at spdmcrew.com. You could follow our playlist on Spotify and Apple Music at Mike Hilty. Shout out to HiFlyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. And if you have any marketing, logo, or brand standard needs, contact them at highflyercreative.com. If you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, no matter what happens now, you shouldn't be afraid because I know today has been the most perfect day I've ever seen.